So what is machine learning? It could be thought as, very commonly said, it's understanding data, patterns, and try to predict some future patterns, right? So that way, I'm going to take a very simplistic approach in defining or conceptualizing machine learning. And most of the people have done some kind of programming in their life. So I want to compare and contrast what programming is versus machine learning. In the traditional programming, which has been there for decades, we have a computer and we have some kind of input data. In my case, I've taken a simple set of data, just 4 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what I'm doing is asking a programmer to write a program. My program is simple. I've asked the programmer in any language they want to write a program which squares these numbers. It takes these numbers and squares them. So if everything works fine, no compilation or other issues, it should result in something like this. 1 would become 1, 2 will become 4, and so on and so forth. So you just get square of that. This has been happening for decades and decades, and the whole software industry has some form or shape of doing this, which is a rule-based program which is prescribed and defined upfront, and the programmer writes the logic. Now let's compare that with what machine learning does. In the world of machine learning, we have a machine, a computer. To have an apples to apples comparison, I have taken the same numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, but here is where the difference starts. Instead of having a program which is prescribed and well defined by somebody up front, we do not have that. Instead, we have the output data set. We have the input data set, and we also have some outputs for those resulting particular cases. My question to you, if you can take a moment and think about what is the pattern? What is the pattern between this input data? So we looked at the first number and we saw 1 translated to 1, which doesn't give us much to decipher from. 2 became 8, which gave a sense like possibly it is a cube, but people would have been cautious and validated it with third number, and then became 27. Some became confident and cube was the answer. Some wanted to test a little further with the data set and looked at 4 and said, okay, that becomes 64, and for confidently able to say that yes, this is what is happening and this is a cube is a model. Great. The challenge is instead of just these 4 numbers, if I had millions and millions of numbers or billions of numbers or data points, and the formula was not as simple as a cube, it could be a sophisticated formula, and in that case human beings back out very easily, and that's not what our forte or strength is. And that's where machines chime in, and machines would tirelessly go through those millions and billions of data points, analyzing and coming and refining and going back and forth until the point they give the output as a model. In this case, our model, very rightly said by the group, is the cube. A very simple example, but you see the mind shift or the paradigm shift which is happening in the world of programming versus machine learning. So we had that change, and this output, which is a model in this case, and this can be utilized for future data points. So you can take 5, if that is the future data point, it will get translated and this will become 125, and you can use for other data sets. So I just wanted to look at machine learning in a very different way, in a simplistic way, and compare and contrast with programming. And many problems, not only for the size of the data and the complexity, but certain problems cannot even be solved in a rule-based formula. So let's say if I want to build a formula, let's say, or a logic, a program to identify, let's say, different fruits, images of different fruits or actual fruits, there is no program which can just create all the possible permutation, combination, logic. Even if somebody tried it, it would be millions of lines of code and probably still wrong. And through machine learning and image recognitions, and these things can be done very easily versus trying to write a program. So certain use cases, it's technically not feasible to do or sensible to do to the traditional programming, and that's where machine learning thrives. Right?